Here. What we're doing today is I'm going to be going over a 2-week audit of the Boomerang trade results shown on the still charts here on a 2-minute chart instead of our standard 450 tick chart default for trading with Boomerang, which is still the recommended setting for the crude oil trading. But for mini Nasdaq, I'm going to show you the 2-minute setting on the chart. So you see up here I have it set to 2 minutes. Now you're going to find this quite interesting for those of you well accustomed to using the 450 ticks. And I'm merely offering it as an alternative that you can use, or if for any reason your tick data vendor you're not getting similar results or showing a similar chart to what I get on my 450 ticks, which is rarely the case. We've offered modifications that have worked really well, but I just thought I'd show you this because the truth is Boomerang works very well on all time frames, on all different commodities as well as stocks, futures, analysis of the cash markets such as the Dow Jones Industrial, Transportation Index, TRIN, advanced decline. You can run charts on Boomerang on anything and it'll work very well. But we guarantee 90% winning trades on two particular contracts, namely crude oil and mini Nasdaq on the 450 tick chart. I don't want to complicate this too much, but I'm merely putting up 2 minutes and showing you today on mini Nas how valuable it is. And you can use that as an alternative if you want, or if it's just something you find to be simpler. All right, so with that in mind, this is going to be, we'll start out a little slower and then I'll kick it up into high gear because I do want to get through 11 sessions. I'm going to track them, mark them, and show you the exact results. I want to say in advance, I have not seen these results, nor have I done on these dates in advance a tracking of these. I'm going to do it first right in front of you here live. And we're recording this and it's in front of a large audience, so there's nothing I can do to change what we're going to see. Now, what we're going to track is each trade I'm going to mark. It's not going to be 3 points. It's going to be plus 2 to 3 points. Most will be 3 points, but it's going to be based on 2 to 3 points. A stop will still be 5 points. There will be some break evens. In fact, I'll mark a break even column on here in case we do get a couple of those, and a total. It'll be real simple, but I'm going to audit it here and we'll go over it a little slow to start. So let's start out using a 2-minute mini Nasdaq chart. Again, the 2-minute experiment here is only for the mini Nasdaq. I want to show you how well it works on Boomerang. Okay, here's the opening. Again, a West Coast chart, 6:30, so it's 9:30 New York. Here's the opening candle. It opens and closes. The pullback, the SIG line comes in at 58, and 58 jumps up to 64. So that's a plus 2 to excuse me, a 2 to 3 point trade. I've been talking all day today in my live trading room, doing excessive trading on crude oil and trading the mini Nas, which is really turning into a roller coaster here. So we could be in for some real fireworks coming up pretty soon here, I think. A lot of action going on there. So my voice will be all right, but just bear with me. Okay, so that was the first trade of the day. Now, did you catch that? Buy channel opened. All the dynamic trend bands were blue color. After the candle closed, the first pullback SIG line came right in here. It was marked and alarmed. You just look over on the right side here and you hit your buy button or whatever platform you're using, and you can see them go up. It shot straight up. Very pleasant. Now here we have a trade. Hold on a quick second here. Keep my voice working. That's the main thing right now. Sell channel, matching dynamic trend bands. Pull back the SIG line here at 58.75. Just use the last 4 digits. It's all we need to run the audit. 58.75. 58.75 runs up to 62.50, holding the 5-point stop, and at one point it came down to 56.25. That's a 250 gain. So that's another mark for a 2 to 3 point trade. If you want it, when you're trading with us, you can just trade 2.5 points right in the middle. There's no buy trade here, obviously, because the matching dynamic trend bands have crossed the downside and are matching the red color, which is the sell color. Now here you had one of those things that happens once in a while. The algorithms in the Boomerang system will see the sell channel open and simultaneously print instantly, literally in a millisecond, the pullback to the signal line. This you wouldn't have caught this in 90% of the cases. They immediately crashed. It happened real quick. This would not be a sell signal here because it's too far down, although it did pan out for 3 points. You don't want to take these. They're extremely high risk. So we're watching for the next trade setup. So far we've had 2 winning trades, no losses. Here's a buy channel opening, but notice these have not crossed over and are not matching colors. So there's no trade here. Here's a sell channel opening, or yeah, sell channel, but they're crossing over to the upside and they're not matching color yet. Here's a buy channel, flipping here to a buy channel, and now they're matching at this point and have crossed over. A pullback, the sig line comes in at 52 quarter. 52 quarter shoots up to 56. Another 2 to 3 point winner there. Now keep in mind, every 3 points is $60. So if you have 4 contracts, you're working at 160, yeah, $280 minus a commission, or 240 minus commish, probably about $210 or so. So it's a $200 bill in your pocket every time you pull one of these off with 4 contracts. So there's another winner here. A sell channel. These are the 2-minute charts. Again, I'm doing something new here. I'm auditing these starting out slow so you can get the picture how valuable 2-minute charts are on Boomerang Mini Nasdaq. Sell channel, well, obviously they've crossed over on the upside. They're not matching colors. There's no sell here. However, they flip back to a buy here and a pullback signal line with all the dynamic trend bands matching, and up they go for a whopper move here from 53.75 at the peak up here to 60, but easily 3 points in there, easily 2 to 3 points there. They press higher and higher. Then we get into a thing here which is very unusual. Going strictly by the mechanical approach, you have a sell channel and you have the DTBs crossing right in this candle, so you short on this one here at 62.50, which crunches to the downside down to 56. Another 2 to 3 point winner there, just following a strictly mechanical method. A buy channel comes flying in with whipsaw going off all over the place, and right here you're not going to take this trade. Too much whipsaw. However, just for our little recorded record here today, you see the buy channel form. That candle closed. They pulled back the sig line at 63.50 and they shot up to 68. It's another 3 point winner, but I won't record it because nobody in their right mind would trade a candle whipsawing back and forth like this. That's not the Boomerang method. As they calm down, you get a sell channel here. The candle closes, a pullback. The sig line comes in here at 62, and 62 drops down to 58 for the 6th winner in a row on this session. The market turns around again back to the upside. We're waiting for either what? Little quiz for you. That's right, we're waiting for either a matching color on the dynamic trend bands. That's these 2 thicker lines here. The dashed dotted line is number 1. Number 2 is the solid line. And once they match color across, we take the next trade to the signal line, which is right here at 65 quarter. 65 quarter shoots up to 70. So another 2 to 3 point winner there on Boomerang Day Trader. Then they cross over, start crossing over to the downside. You can see it in advance in the still chart, but when you're trading live, it'll look like this. And go, huh, you follow the rules. I see a sell candle here. Now it closes. Okay, what are the dynamic trend band conditions? Well, so far they haven't crossed and they're not matching, so I'm going to wait. And then you go, aha, on this candle right here, they're matching color. You see that? So you go short at 64, and 64 drops down to 62 quarter, whipsaws back up to 65, pulls back to 63, and you get a green candle coming in here. You got a problem. However, a new buy candle or buy channel opens up and a pullback the signal line. You scratch that trade right there and you wait for your next signal. You scratch that trade and you go long here when the dynamic trend bands match right here at 66, and 66 shoots up to 68.50. So for another two and a half points there. 2 to 3 points is what I'm tracking today. And on this one, you were short at 64.50, and you scratched it either on this dot here or somewhere in here when the whole buy candle came in. So you scratched it for, we'll just mark a 1 point loss there. Break even. Well, let's see, stop is -5. We'll mark it as a break even, a 1 point break even type stop. And then another winner there. Again, I'm going to speed this up pretty quick here because I got a lot of work to do. I'm really going to work hard and do this for you so you can see the results. Coming into the final hour, you got a candle that goes to the downside, and that's called a second level trade. When the candle locks down, then you get a reversal back to a buy candle, all the dynamic trend bands matching, and they shoot up for another 2 to 3 points there. And then coming into the close, we just skip it and go on to the next day. Now, because these 1 minute charts, I'm going to use my scroll bar because they takes forever to get through the night session. Okay, so just as a quick recap of the last day we just did, there was 9 winners, 1 point loss, and 9 winners. If you're trading a 4 contract account, for example, 9 winners times approximately $210, $1,800 on that deal. If you just traded 1 contract, it's 9 times around 60 minus commission, around $500. So it's a good deal. I don't like to talk about the money so much because I'm not trying to hype Boomerang or anything like that. I'm just showing you our extremely accurate and proven software that allow you to make winning trades in the market almost on a daily basis. If you know what you're doing, you follow the methods we show here, and you use Boomerang, we'll make sure and train you really well before you buy it by watching these webinars that I do for free every 2 weeks. And then once you get it, we have ongoing follow-up training, etc. Everything you need just to make sure you're on track to make winning trades. That's the goal. Here's a new trade channel opening up here, and a pullback the signal line. Now, this is a modification rule, and the way it works is that when you have a channel open up and all the trade signal lines are used up before you get to where you can make a trade. Now this is the opening here, so your permission to trade with the system at the Cobra line, which is this one just under this thick line here. You can't quite see it. Well, you can here. There it is. See the Cobra in here, running right up in here, right after the opening. So you can get short up in there, and they drop right down for a 3-point gain. No trade here. I'm going to speed up now. Don't mind. I got to. Otherwise, we'll be here all afternoon. No buy trade there. No crossover. No matching color. Hard drop to the downside. This is okay for a trade. I would have to trade for a little longer with the 2 minutes to see how that works. But it's just 2 short candles, 1 long one. Let's see where it goes. 43.50 drops down to 38. So there's another winning trade. Still in sell mode here until we get into, or not sell mode, but they're just flipping back and forth in a whipsaw fashion. The minute you see a buy, sell, buy, sell, it's just the algorithm's being flipped around in a buy, sell mode because of the market in a choppy whipsaw fashion. Here you get a crossover, a pullback, or a buy channel opens, a pullback signal line, and up they go for 2 to 3 points there. Same thing here, nothing going on here because the market is not matching the DTBs. They're all crunched together in a whipsaw fashion here, so nothing to do here. Here you have the matching colors here, buy channel matching colors, a little bit of a riskier trade. 45.50 jumps to 46.75, comes down to 44.50, and a new sell can. Again, the 2 minutes can be a little faster, a little different than the 450, but what you got essentially is a buy at 45.25, and then you'd scratch that right around the same price. So another break even. I'll mark another break even there. Whoops. No big deal. They don't occur much, but then you have a buy candle opening and closing, a pullback to the signal line, and they shoot right up for 2 to 3 points, and now in fact they make a substantial huge rock and roll move all the way up, and that happens. We don't care. One slogan that we have that I use all the time is we don't let the markets use us by manipulating us emotionally and pulling us around and freaking us out. We use the markets to carve out a paycheck. See the big difference? Don't let the market use you. You use the market. We're only here trading these markets to use them to carve out a paycheck. We're not going to let them use us and drive us crazy or flip us out or anything like that. Cross over here, pull back the sig line, 61 drops down to 58.75 for just barely eking out a 2.25 point gain. But that's what we're tracking today, 2 to 3 point move. No buy signal here, nothing going on. A very strange configuration here, but nonetheless, sell channel, matching dynamic trend bands. This would have been tricky to get into, but either here or here. So right around 62, 62 drop down to 60 for a 2 point gain. That's what we're tracking. And so we're going to just follow that. See how, because I want you to see how the 2 minute works. And we get to do this together because I have not tracked or done anything with this yet except just kind of cursory glanced at it. Buy channel, pull back the sig line, 63.25, ramps right up to 67. 7 winning trades in a row on this session as we come into the close. And then coming right into the close, there's another winner, but we'll just skip that. Then aftermarket, they crunched. We'll just skip it. We'll just go to 12:30, 3:30 each day, New York time. And on this audit, we're almost done here. We're getting through it. Let's get up to another session here. Okay, so the market opens, and they're just flipping around all over. Here's a sell channel. Pull back the sig line at 48.25. Prices decide to move up, and a new buy channel comes in. Usually when that happens, you get ready to jump out of the trade because it's not panning out. So 48 short. And right here at 49.50, the sig line gets hit along with it. You just close it out for a markdown -2 points. This looks like what it would be. And then all of a sudden you're on the buy side because that's set up with the dynamic trend bands matching. You're on the buy side at 50.25, which runs up to 56. So that's your first winning trade of the day, and we had one for -2 points on a loss. Market ramps up here, and here this is a classic sell channel opens up. The crossover occurs here. You go short, and down they go for 2 to 3 points. I got to really hurry here to get us going. Second level trade right here. Going short, channel closes, pull back sig line, down they go for 2 to 3 points. 2 minute chart on mini NAS. It's just something new I'm showing today in the trading room, or our Boomerang training room today. Just for those who want to go to a minute chart. Maybe if you're struggling with the tick charts, try the 2 minute chart on the mini NAS. But stick to the 450 ticks on the crude oil. Buy channel opens up and closes with the matching dynamic trend bands. Up they go for 2 to 3 points. And a lot of times they make a big substantial. We don't care because why? I just talked about it a minute ago. We use the markets to carve out a paycheck. We don't let the markets use us by sitting here and pounding our fists in it. Oh man, look at how far it went up, and I woulda, shoulda, could have held that. Forget all that. It doesn't matter. Nobody knows when that's going to happen. Sell channel, crossover, pull back the sig line, down they go for 3. But just be happy you're capturing 2 to 3 points. If you want more heat, you want more money, add more contracts. Get real good at using Boomerang and add more contracts. Here's a crossover on the dynamic trend bands, a buy channel, a pullback right here to the signal line at 58.25, which shoots up to 60.75 for 2.5 points. And coming in the close, they get all whippy here. Nothing happening on either side as the whipsaw goes wild. And then finally here they crunch them. Everything turns to the bearish color, and they hit them right here and sell off for another trade. So far they've been averaging around 6 to 9 winning trades a day with one or two break evens. Pretty good deal so far, tracking the 2-minute charts here. Let's shoot over to the next day. This all was in the last 2 weeks. So I'm using real current charts, and these markets have been a little bit flippy lately. If you got you got to admit, are you with me on that one? Boy, they've been pretty wild. I mean, the Trump train I think is running out of steam a little bit, and all the technicals are getting overbought. And the Fed wants to rig up the markets, which I believe they've been rigging them up. They stopped for a while. The Trump train was taking care of that for them. They raised interest rates in the middle of it quickly. They saw it and they were licking their chops. They quickly raised interest rates. Didn't even affect the market like it did last. Remember in 2016 in January, they just slaughtered the markets by trying to artificially raise interest rates without having the economy or the jobs numbers backing them up. It just killed the market. So they threw one in now. They want to throw another one in probably next week. So they're trying to keep propping up the market. But the problem is you can see on the Dow today closing down 69 points. They're struggling. But so there's a tug of war going on. That's why the last 2 weeks have been a lot more difficult. But that's why I want to use this audit. I want to do the audit on the 2 minutes in the toughest times, not the easy times. We're doing the toughest times to show you that's, I'm here to just show you how Boomerang works so that you can make money and stay at home and trade. Here's a winning trade here for 3 points. Channel opens up, matching dynamic trend bands. That's the only criteria you need. It's not complicated. It's very simple to do. It's not simple to trade, but it's simple to read Boomerang once you know the method. No sell channel here. Everything's blue. Buy channel up 2 points, 2.5, 3 points. That's what we're tracking today. Okay, a crossover to downside, a sell channel. Pull back the sig line here at 68.75, and they go down to 66.25. 2.5 points. That's all we're tracking. We're tracking micro scalping on mini Nasdaq using Boomerang Day Trader. Here's a buy channel opening up. Dynamic trend bands turn the same color. You get them going at 73 and you go long, and it's not working. It's not working. You get a counter sell channel and a pullback sig line, which occurs right at the same price approximately as your entry here. So you scratch the trade and then it flips to buy. Just forget it because everything's in flux here. Here's a sell channel and a pullback sig line, and down they go. So you had that last one was a winning trade. The one prior to that was minus, we'll say minus 1 point. It was actually an even scratch, but we'll just say -1 in that deal. And let's see here. They rolling along, and the prices are waiting here. No trades on the buy side until we get what? A crossover matching DTVs, right? So there they are. Now here, okay, good. I was waiting for one of these. This is called a modification rule, which is explained on many of my seminars I've done, and that is when you get a buy channel or a sell channel, let's say in this case a buy channel, and before you get the configuration we need, which is a crossover matching dynamic trend bands, all the pullbacks to the sig line are used up. See, when you have a channel open, Boomerang is going to mark up to 6 pullbacks to the sig line. 1, 2, 3, 4 from the candle that opens the channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one didn't hit the pullback to the sig line. This one did. So the way the modification rule works is if all the pullbacks are used up, 6 candles counting the one that opens it, buy channel in this case, and there's no pullback to sig line marked, but you have a crossover of the dynamic trend bands, the system has a simple rule. It says just trade a pullback to the Cobra. That's this thicker dotted line running through here. And there's a pullback to the Cobra, and up they go for 3 points. So did you understand that rule? I sure hope so. It's pretty easy to understand, but that's all the modification is. Now, this is exciting because this shows us another rule, which is called the trend trading method. And let's see here. I've got that handy. I want to make sure you see that. So you can study it. I'm going to show it to you right now. It's really easy to do, but this was, I say new with an exclamation point because this back last year in May. It was new at that time. This will explain it more detail, but I'm going to show it to you real quick. It's the easiest thing in the world. Just like everything with Boomerang, very, I should say simple, not easy. Trading is not easy. Don't get me wrong. Simple. When the dynamic trend band crosses the Cobra in an extended up move with a very steep dynamic trend band number 2, which you can easily see. See when I put my cursor on the bottom here, see how it's flat and the trend band's flat? Look at when I put it here. See how that, if you take that line and the cursor going out, it's called what I call a piece of pizza. It looks like a triangular piece of pizza. Well, the bigger that piece of pizza, the stronger your curve is. If you have it here, you see the pizza here is very small, but you put it here, right when the crossover occurs here, that's a big piece of, that's definitely a steep dynamic trend band. There's no guessing on that. If someone tried to tell you down here, well, that's a steep dynamic trend band, you say, well, I don't think so. It's kind of flattish to up, but not steep. Crossover, pullback to, when the dynamic trend band number 1 crosses over the Cobra, you trade a pullback to the Cobra, and there it is. So out of this setup, we got a modification rule trade for 3 points and a modification trend trade move for another 3 points. Do you see how that works? Pretty cool. And then that, you don't do anything after that. Leave it alone. Here's the dynamic trend bands crossing over. A sell channel opens, a pullback signal line, and down goes 3 points. And then they got murdered on the downside there. But you know what? Put a sign up on the top of your desk that says, so what? Who cares? No big deal. And then next set you can write also, I don't let the markets use me. I use the market to carve out a paycheck. Because you just got another 3 points here, which is another $200 bill in your pocket. Yeah, they collapsed, but who cares? We're not trading this. We're clearly and obviously trading a scalp system, and we did what the indicators told us to do. Thank God you have Boomerang. Tells you exactly what to do, and you make all these winning trades. You don't have to worry anymore. You can trade with confidence. Okay, crossover. Now look here. That modification rule would have been appropriate here, but there was no pullback to the Cobra. It just missed it. Had it just come a little bit lower here by 1 or 2 ticks, you'd had a modification buy there, and up they went, but that didn't happen. Same thing here. No trade. They just crunched them on the downside, and that was it. So that's coming into the today's trading here. I thought it was like 11 sessions, but oh, did I forget to change this? Data series. Oh, okay, it was set for 5 days. I had it set for 15 before I started the room. And how much time we got? I got about another 2 minutes. Let me do this. I'm going to set it for 10. My mistake. I thought I was going back 11 sessions. What I did is I set it for 10 because I don't know what I didn't mark the dates of those or anything, but what I'm going to do is I know that I could at least get 2 sessions out of these because it was marked for 5 additional sessions. So we'll do just 5 real, or we'll do 2 additional sessions real quick, and that'll be good for today. So here's the opening. Here's the pullback signal line. Whoops. Right there, 2 to 3 points. Here's a cross and buy channel. Are the dynamic trend bands matching? Yes, they are on this candle right here. Right? You see that? They haven't crossed, but they're matching colors. So your trade is right here on this candle, and the price is 32 quarter. 32 quarter runs up to 36 half. Another winning trade there. Scalping away on these moves. Is there a sell trade here? Of course not. They're crossing over to the upside, and they're both blue colored. You have a buy channel coming in right here. That means you get ready for a buy trade. There it is. 35.50 long, and right here they jumped up to 38.75 plus 2 to 3 points. 2-minute chart, mini Nasdaq, something new I'm showing you today. Showing you that you can use Nasdaq on 2 minutes. It's beautiful, works really well. Maybe if the markets are a little tighter and they're a little choppier, a little whatever, try flipping a 2-minute chart on, or run both the 450 and a 2-minute. See which one seems to be working out better under the market conditions you have. It's one way to work a better deal sometimes. Sell channel here, cross under, pull back to the signal line here or here. Let's take the lower one. 38 quarter drops down to 35.50, 2 to 3 point gain right there. That's a 4th winning trade in a row. And rolling along, no second level trade. Here's a buy channel coming in, right? And a crossover. Market is going nuts, flipping out here on the whipsaw. So a much higher risk trade. And once they cross over and match, you got red ink candles coming in right on the crossover. Red ink, super high caution trade, better to avoid it. Then a sell channel comes in, they flip them to the downside. I don't see where I would have wanted to buy this here with the downtrend and all that. I don't think it's necessary to mark it as a loss trade because it really didn't. Um, Here's a weird configuration where you got a sell channel. You finally got the matching DTBs here, right? All of the signal line pullbacks were used up, so technically this would be a trade on a pullback to the Cobra. So right as they match right here and they drop down and they flip back up, technically this would have been mechanically a short on the Cobra, which is right here at 37, and 37 drops down to 34.50 for 2.5 points. But we'll just skip that one. I won't even mark that in because that's another, just like this one, a real whipsaw deal. Here's a much more clear one here. Buy channel, matching dynamic trend bands, pull back the signal line, and up they go. Higher they climb, and then you get another, the 2 minutes is going to be a little edgier because it's every candle is 2 minutes of time. So here's a sell channel. They haven't crossed over yet here. Then they go to a buy channel. Then they go to a sell channel. This is where sell channel, buy channel, they're just, it's ping-ponging back and forth. You got to just stand aside and wait for some clarity for a more clear position like this one here where you get a buy channel, they shoot up, then they pull back, telling you they like the direction on the upside. They pull back to 42.50, they go up to 44.50, pull back a little more, and then they shoot higher, eking out that 2-point trade in a choppy whipsaw market, but nonetheless giving us a winning trade there. And again, while you're trading, you can try to determine, should I be just scalping 2 points or 3 or 2.5? Sometimes it's good to go right down the middle and just grab 2.5. Either way, as long as you're going in there clipping off winning trades, it's a good day and you're having some fun. Let's do one more session, then we'll complete this audit, and I'll go into any questions that you may have about this or any aspect of Boomerang. Again, I'm not changing the method or anything. I'm just showing you that there is a very viable way of using a 2-minute chart, which is going to have the same exact chart appearance on every data vendor out there, and that's why I'm doing it. It hasn't been a problem. Had a few inquiries about it. We check it out by just showing traders how to modify the ticks, but this is a good way to have on our resource section for those who might be puzzling a little about that. Sell channel opening up, pullback signal line, 2 points. This is our last set. It'll be our 6th audited session here. No buy trade here, nothing going on. Second level trade, pull back to the signal line, and down they go for another 2 to 3 points. Market comes down, starts turning around. Here's the channel crossing and matching. So you got your pullback right here around 40 half. 40 half holds up a 5-point stop and shoots up higher, making another winning trade. Boy, they got crunched, didn't they? Sell channel, crossover. This is one of those, all the signal line pull, all the market is, the trades have been used up. Arguably, this one here, this last yellow dot could have been used, or this run up here to the Cobra, and then down they go. So it was, you had to get short in that one. Boy, look at that. They hit him hard. I had that happen today to me live where it was so choppy and tight. I was trading them. I got short. They missed my covering position by a tick, shot up, and the market was, and it looked to me, I said, these riggers are going to try to jam this market up, and they did. They started jamming about 2 points against my trade, and I said, oh man, we'd already accumulated a nice gain for the day, so I was really anxious to get out. So I got out of break even, and then the market just collapsed, and I thought, oh well. I took my own advice. I looked at my sign. So what? Who cares? No big deal. It's the way the mop flops. I got a lot of little slogans that keep me sane when I'm trading. Crossover here. New buy channel. Crossover. Pull back the signal line. Up they go. fifth winning trade in a row on this session here. No sells to do here because you got the dynamic trend bands matching. Here's a buy channel. Here's a pullback signal line, but the dynamic trend band number 1 is not matching. So technically this should not be a buy trade. You got to have at least a dynamic trend band number 1, the blue color, if you're on the buy side, even if as long as they've crossed over. So no dice here. Now arguably, let me explain something. You could arguably have said here, and I'm blowing this up so you can see it crystal clear. I'm not fudging the trade or anything. Buy channel, matching dynamic trend bands not happening until you get into this candle. And you can see here they pulled back to the Cobra just shortly after the last candles here and here. So you could have bought that 31.50, shot up to 34.75. I'll just leave it off the audit record here, but that would have been a winning trade on a pullback to the Cobra using the modification method. There's only the one, and then there's the trend trade channels, but that the trend trade move. But that's it. No, there's not 8 different setups. I've been on trainings and sites because I check everything out. It's been my hobby for the last 20 years, and they give you 8 different methods, and I'm telling you, I know from trading myself and being a professional, and I know from a lot of others I know that are pros and really top level beginners, you can't trade 8 setups. You can't even trade 4 really. They just, things are whipping out so fast. Oh, there was one. Oh, I forgot. It's too fast. You got to just work with 1 to 2 to maybe 3 really rock solid setups that are easy, or shall I say simple to understand, and fairly easy to execute. Trading's never easy, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you that that's what you need to win. Like this one here. The dynamic trend bands crossover. Is there any question of that? No. Are they matching color? No. Is there any question that they're matching color? Is that a yellow dot you see in that line there? Because when that price hits that line, it's going to print a yellow dot, and I could go to this chart a year from now in 2018. I could go back and look at this chart, and that yellow dot will still be there. You can look up historic time and sales at your brokerage or whatever, and at that 11:14 on that day, Eastern or West Standard Time, the prices hit 29.25. It's permanently marked there. So the point is, that's a sell there. 29 came down and gave you another 2 to 3 point move. No trade here, no match of colors. Here's a buy channel. Now they're matching. And right here they're matching, and they've crossed. Well, they're just crossing, but they match. So your pullback signal line is right here at 30. 30 wiffle waffles around and then jumps up to 33.5, 2 to 3 point gain. And now you're coming into the close, and there's another trade here, but I said we wouldn't go past 12:30, so there's another trade there. As they come into the close, they drop off. We'll just skip that. So there we go. Okay, now, having done that, before we go into your Q&A, let me total all this up, and we'll do that live, and then I'll have this recorded. You can go over it again later for one. We did 6 sessions. The first, and I didn't put the dates or anything I didn't feel is necessary. We had 9 winning trade setups on day 1, and 1 break even and 1 minus 1. So we'll just call it minus 1 point. On day number 2, we had 7 trade setups that panned out for 2 to 3 points and 1 break even. On day number 3, there was 7 trade setups and 1 trade for minus 2 points. On day 4, there was 5, 8. We just did these. I did them right in front of you, and minus 1 point. 8 setups winning and minus 1 point. 6 setups on day number 5 and no losses or break evens, and 7 on the one we just did. Okay, so I targeted 2.5 to 3 points. 2 points to 3 points. Every one of those I saw, I think there was one that I recall eked out 2.25 points. Every one of the other ones were 3 points or more that I recall. A few that I recall were 2.5 points. Let's take an average of 2.5 points on all these to come up with some totals. Okay, so we had 9, we're going to base it on times 2.5 points on each one. 9 setups times 2.5 points is plus 22.5 points. Minus 1 loss, this is day number 1, grand total of plus 21.5 points. The point total is easier because then you can take 2120, right? Well, first thing you want to do is take 10 trades times 4.50 retail. So you're going to have $45 commission in there per contract. So you take 2150 times 20 bucks is $430 minus $45, $385. Now where the magic comes in for you as a trader, I mean, that's not a bad day's pay, but the key is building yourself up with confidence from working with the system to a 4-contract, what I call a blue-collar working trader, and that turned into a net of about $1,540. Now it gets a little more exciting because you're in an executive position there. Again, I'm not trying to sell Boomerang based on dollars or, wow, you could have made all this money. I could do it based on 10 contracts if you want and say you would have made $3,670. I'm not going to hype it that way. There's no need to. $385 is a good deal. Half of that's a good deal. If you made half of $1,540, that's a good day. You only need a few winning setups a day to make a really good living, and I'm showing you the net total of what they made open to close. Okay, so the next day was 7 setups times 2.5 is 7 plus 1750 and 1 break even. So 1750 points on 7 trades. So 8 trades times 4.50 regular retail commish, $36. All right, so 1750 times 20 bucks, 350 minus $36 is a net plus 314. You with me on that? 314, I always measured out on a blue collar working trader account, is 1256. A blue collar working trader account, I usually estimate that can be done with, I like to say, like $6,000 to $10,000. 10 will cushion it a lot better, so it's always a good deal. Same thing, 8 trades on the next day, so that's $36 commission, and you had 7 winners and 1 2-point loss. So 7 times 2.50, 1750 minus 2 points, 1550 times 20 bucks, 310 minus $36, a net 274 times 4 is 1,096. So you're getting into day 3 here, and it's starting to look pretty good because you've netted 3-4 grand. You know, it's a living. It's nice living. 9 trades total. I'm doing the commish first now. 9 times 4.50. Commission is $41. And a 1-point loss on one of them. 8 times 20. Wait a minute, my mistake. 8 times 2.50. Yeah, 20 points times minus 1. We lost 1 point in there. Minus 1 is 19 times 20 bucks, 380 minus $41 commission. You always got to subtract the commission. 339 net, which isn't bad. Just trading one contract, your risk is a lot lighter. You're just doing one contract. You don't have that much risk. It's good when you're starting out. 339 times 4, 1356. Or half that if you did 2. You can do 2. Do 3, whatever. You can do 20 if you want. In our room, we have a lot of traders that tell me they're doing bigger size, so that's good. Day number 5 was 6 trades. 6 times 250 and no losses, so 15 points. 6 trades times 450 commission is 27 bucks commish. So 15 times 20, 300 minus 27, net plus 273 times 4. See, I'm doing it all in front of you here. There's no games I'm playing. I know these guys in some of these rooms play games with you, and it's sad, but I'm embarrassed to say I'm in the industry, but we're one of the people that do it all straight. Day number 6, this is the last day that we just audited here, where there were 7 setups. So, and no loss. 7 times 250 points, 1750 points. 7 trades times 450, $32 commish. 1750 times 20 bucks, 350 minus 32, net plus 318, and then times 4, 1272. Again, this is all hypothetical. The industry correctly says it's hypothetical unless someone takes a trade, which is just common sense. I'm not reporting this as live trades I or anybody made. I'm just reporting it as what the automated, or not automated, but the Boomerang system showed. It's automated in the sense that it's mechanical, but it's not automated. But I use the figures because I want you to get excited about the potential, but not saying you can or will or necessarily achieve that. And in fact, what I'm going to show you now, over 6 trading sessions, you bought Boomerang, you went to work, and you traded 6 sessions, and you just duplicated these, and you had a lot of money. So to trade 4 contracts in a $8,000 account was absolutely no big deal. You got a couple million bucks in the bank, whatever. It's just like peanuts, actually. And you said, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and just put in a 10 grand and trade 4 contracts and see what happens. 1540, this is after commission, 1256, 1096, 1356, 1092 plus 1272 plus 7612. If you got 2.5 points on all these setups, which I showed you right here, after commission on a $10,000 account. So, percentage-wise, it's a 76% gain. But that's that's investor talk. We're futures traders. We're more into the paycheck. I want the cash, not who cares about percentages, right? Leave that to the investor types. Anyway, so 6 sessions on 4 contract account. You netted $7,500 after commission. So cut that in half and say you netted $3,700. That's still darn good. Say you cut it in half because of whatever, screw-ups, mistakes, emotions. Maybe you missed some of the trades, whatever. It's absolutely fantastic income. You stayed at home for that week and a day or whatever. You made yourself $4,000 or so. Maybe you made up to 7, and you go, wow, boy, that sure beats going to the office. I just stayed home and made some really good cash. And again, it's hypothetical, but that is the way to hit them, and that's the way Boomerang works. So I really want to thank you for watching this presentation here on the 2-minute charts with Boomerang, and I just showed you the proof that it's extremely accurate. Still, with the 2-minute, at least for what we audited, is showing at least a 90% accurate trading return, 90% winning trades.